Hi, so I wanted to do my reading response on chapters 9 and 10 of the Blind Goddess book. 9 is the Paul Butler, Do Good People Become a Prosecutor? And 10 is What's Defense by Amy Batch. So I'm, one of the kids who wants to become an attorney after, like, undergrad and stuff. So these chapters really were, like, enlightening. It's not stuff that people really talk about that much. So coming into it, I kind of wanted to be, a prosecutor at first. Then I kind of like changed my mind and flip flopped a lot. And after all, I just kind of decided like forget about like criminal justice. I'm just gonna go like corporate. But I'm really interested in that stuff. And I've asked myself before, like, would it be a good thing to be a prosecutor? Like, would you? Because then, when you're doing like criminal defense, it's always you don't make that much money, you have a bunch of loans, and would you defend like murder or something like that? The prosecuting always seemed to want to make sense. So I found it interesting in Paul Butler's book when he talks about like do good people become prosecutors, and how he's talking about how he always talks to students and think they can go like inside the system and change stuff and then work from like the inside. And then as he's explaining it, I'm realizing how like contradicting that is. It's like saying that it's like you seeing a burning of like a building burning, and you're like, I'm gonna go inside of it and pour oil so then it will stop, like, or gasoline rather. I want to go inside a burning building and pour gasoline to help it stop. It's like you're feeding the beast, but you're trying to make change, and it doesn't make like any sense. I don't know if you watch Orange Is the New Black. I think one like in the new season, it's like one of like the first episodes when they have the new like the black counsel, I forgot her name, but she's talking to Alex, and Alex gives her like some huge speech about, oh, like you think you can fix the system from inside, like you think like you're doing us a favor by trying to help us, but in reality, like, it doesn't work at all. And she went like on, and it was like really true. And then it's like you think about it, it's like, yeah, like you can't work in an oppressive system thinking that you can be above it, period. It doesn't make any sense. Like you have to fight it, because if you're in it, you're only adding to it. You're not hurting it at all, or you're not helping hindering it. So that chapter is really enlightening in terms of that, in terms of like seeing like the big picture, as an attorney. That's something that you should kind of like aim to do. And the next chapter, number 10, was the Amy Botch about like the defense prosecutor, like defense and stuff like that. That's really interesting, because you don't like a lot of that ties back into the war on drugs, because like the Bryan Act and stuff like that was incorporated to help aid with the war on drugs, like giving police officers money, or giving police departments rather money to go in there and like attack low income urban areas to elicit and get more drug dealers off the streets, so to like not get tough, to get tough on crime. So when you think about it, that's what gets more prosecutors, because the police they're putting in more money for the government to get more people, to bring in more prosecutors. Prosecutors are the ones that end up making the most money, because they're the ones that have the biggest workload. Like they're always putting someone in jail all the time, all the time, all the time. And then that's what the government is aiming for. So when it comes to the defense side, you start realizing like, oh, the government doesn't help these people at all, because that's not what they want to do. They don't want to help these people. They want them to stay in jail in a way. And I kind of, that again even adds on to chapter 9 about do good people become prosecutors. You're seeing it right there. It's like you're working for the government. You're working for the quote unquote message that you're trying to stop. You're just doing it without even, you're just being part of the system, basically. So it was eye-opening, because you don't really realize like why criminal defense attorneys are, that hard to come by. So because you look and you're like, I mean, obviously if they're always getting a bunch of people in jail, you should always, have someone to defend all the time. But you don't get the government assistance. And then talking about the Sixth Amendment, like the right to counsel, that was mind blowing. I had no idea that you had like they interpreted it as you weren't allowed to not get it, but they weren't supposed to give you one. I had no idea that was completely mind blowing. So it was just weird to think like you would really just send a guy there, no legal, you don't know what type of legal experience he has to come up there and then try to defend himself versus like these big attorneys that are helped by the government. It's like you're advocating for more of that. And I guess at the time that's what it is. And now everyone wants to backtrack and realize we can't afford it anymore. But I found that interesting, especially after Gideon Wainwright. They would have just after that. I felt like it should have just been back to normal. They should have just started giving people counsel all the time, all the time, all the time, because you need it. Like it's fair. You're supposed. That's the to me that's like breaking the 14th Amendment. Like it's not the right to due process. You're not. It's not equal protection. Like under the Fifth Amendment, actually, you think it's the equal protection clause. It's not equal if one person can't. If you're basing like Hugo Black said in the book, if wealth is determining how fair of a trial you get, there's something wrong with the system. So yeah, between those two chapters, those were like those were like some of like the biggest things that like I took from it. It was really educational, and then it was kind of like mind blowing. It makes you like think a lot to see how these laws are interpreted, because the more you read Supreme Court cases, because I'm in like another case law class this summer, and I read a lot of cases, and it's like it's kind of weird how the Supreme Court was put there just to interpret laws like an umpire, just call what you see all the time. But it's really weird how like they use so much discretion to put whatever they want. There's a lot of judicial activism without just underlined. Like when they need to get specific and technical on something, like if it was the Ali case, when they didn't want to, expunge all the Nation of Islam, so they had to get technical and find something different inside his case to stop it. Or if they want to be real general, they go back and they say real general, these are just the main vague principles. It's weird, but I think I'm rambling now, but those were some of the big things I took away from it.